This is the first time the BRICS bloc has expanded since 2010 when South Africa was admitted. The only African nation's been pushing for greater continental representation, and it's come in the form of new members Egypt and Ethiopia. Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Argentina and Iran will also join the group from January 2024, adding to core members Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa.
We have to reform global economic, financial and political, as well as the multilateral trading system, so that we can create a conducive environment for fair trade.
The group wants its new development bank to offer preferential terms to developing nations for investment and economic growth. Agreement on who should join the group has taken months of negotiations.
We saw, on the one hand, certain countries that were really pushing for some of their regional partners. The most obvious case is Brazil. I don't think Brazil was very uneasy with the idea of expansion, particularly because it felt it would potentially lose a bit of its influence. So I don't think Brazil would have accepted that expansion without its southern neighbor. And then we have those three countries, your countries that are very important oil producers, but particularly have very interesting relations with the rest of the members.
Through its north-south corridor, new member Iran could link Russia to the Gulf region and ease access to Asia and Africa, while Saudi Arabia and the UAE would offer vital energy resources to the group. Some argue BRICS is engineered to counter Western-dominated economies and geopolitics. But Brazil and India say the bloc is not anti-West. However, some members have been critical of the United Nations Security Council, which the UN says it recognizes.
We need to address the fundamental injustices that are built into the current architecture of many international institutions. I mean, you take the continent of Africa, which is being doubly penalized in a sense. When the UN and its institutions were created, it was still under the colonial yoke, and it wasn't at the table when these institutions were created.
Despite international interest in the group, critics say there may be too many divergent views within the existing BRICS member states for it to reach consensus on important issues. It's likely there'll be questions around how effective BRICS, along with its additional members, will be, especially since individual states have had complicated relations among themselves. But analysts say what's vital to its success is a clearly defined agenda to ensure the group's influence. Fahmida, Al Jazeera, Johannesburg.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.